What's up, everybody? Chad Westport here. Now, a lot of people have been asking, where's Chad been? What's going on? What is he doing? Well, let's find out. I give you 3 guesses. 1, 2, 3. I'm in Mexico. Let's go check it out. All right, so this is the spot. This is the pad. This is where I'll be staying for 3 weeks. Just enjoying myself over here. You know, we've got some lovely plants that we get to take care of, fun things. This room here is actually called the bodega, which is awesome. Say it with me, everybody. Bodega. Got some laundry hanging up over here. Get that nice fresh breeze. Over here on this building, we had huge iguanas just chilling up there the other day. I thought that was pretty damn cool. But yeah, you know, lovely little gardens, cool accents. Who doesn't love a pink flamingo in there? Got the laundry room. We got the casa, which is, woo, another house. So I fall off. Coming in here, we go upstairs to the main living quarters. But we've pretty much been hanging out here with Kitty. Hi, Kitty. We've been chilling out here most of the days. Enjoying and relaxing, chilling, playing some darts, enjoying the pool, but also that sound of the ocean. This has been a great place to stay, a great place to hang out. Again, cool decorations, cool plants, fun garden areas. Uxmal, I believe Uxmal. I will find that out later. Pink flamingos, but yeah, this has been a really cool spot. And this is what I've been up to for the last 3 weeks now. I love being in the different environments and seeing different things, but it's funny with all these palm trees. Every time I look up and see the coconuts like this, all I could think as a grower is, it's a boy. But seriously, you gotta watch out for those things, man. We almost had one fall on our head already. So watch out for falling coconuts whenever you go under the coconut trees. Weeks now, don't get me wrong, I have been working. As you have seen, I am always staying busy, coming up with more content, more ideas, and more exciting things coming in the future. So definitely stay tuned and be prepared for that. But I just want to take you down here, another little nice spot to chill, look out at the water. But I just want to take you right down here to the water and let you see for yourself what it's like. Oh, it's rough, let me tell you. We arrived at our destination in the evening, and we were greeted by a beautiful moon, stars, and the sea. There was a tree frog there to greet us. I also saw a moth that was as big as my hand, and Jiminy Cricket. They were there too, so we knew this was going to be a good trip. We woke up the next morning, we looked left, we looked right, we took a walk down the beach towards the center of town. There's the lighthouse, the restaurants. We were in Telchec Puerto, which has this really awesome pier, and this cool guy at the end, which we walked and touched his foot almost every day. But that feeling as a kid when you were walking around the woods, hoping maybe perhaps you would fall down a hole and discover an ancient civilization or a treasure, that never goes away, and I'm a big kid, so we went out to see the Mayan ruins. Now this iconography here is Aztec, and although the Mayan and the Aztec empires were located in the region known as Mesoamerica, they are different groups. This is the symbolism, the iconography of the Mayan, and you may recognize it from the log count calendar, which ended in 2012 and perhaps signaled the world was ending, but we're still here, and that gave me the opportunity to go out and visit some ruins. First up on our trip was Xcambo. Now, the earliest structures date to the early classic period, which is 250 to 600 AD. There's 11 structures that are spaced around that central plaza, and by the end of the late classic period, 600 to 900 AD, it kind of lost its influence and was abandoned. This church showed up in the last 100 years. It is known as the Temple of the Virgin. Now, located on the north coast in the state of the Yucatan, it was an important commercial port and linked up with a vast trading network that spread all around. The main pyramid reaches a height of about 35 feet. Here's a picture looking at it I took from the Pyramid of the Masks. It's a cool little building there. And any ruins you go to, you're always going to see iguanas. Lots of iguanas there. And well, this was the main temple here. I wanted to climb it. He was in my way. I figured we could coexist, but he hopped off as soon as I started to climb. And climb I did, because those are steep stairs and that's only 35 feet up. Just wait, because I'm going to climb some that are 3 times that height. But on our way back, we're driving through what seemed like a wooded tunnel. It's really the mangroves and the trees, and a lot of the roads out here are really carved through the jungle, and you get to see that here as the vegetation makes that dome. But just to the side is the water where all the pink flamingos hang out. And trust me, my wife loves the pink flamingos, so we definitely got to see lots of them. And you can probably see why in this picture. On our way back, we stopped by Progreso. That is the nearest destination on a map people would know. It's kind of touristy. They've got an awesome Ferris wheel there. Well, they did until Milton hit a week later. Cool art along the Malecon, which is their boardwalk. It's about 1.5 miles of just kind of shops and cool stuff. I mean, pirates and ships, sharks with big teeth. How can you beat that? Answer, this van. Freaking cool. As I always do on my trips, I like to seek out street art. I find it, I take pictures of it, I love it. This wall was in one of the alleys. We were walking just a few blocks off of the Malecon, so I had to take some pictures there. Also at the end of the alley was this cool painted heart, and that kind of embodies the spirit of the area. There were a few buildings with huge murals on it, and I kind of dug that. But we got back home in time to see a pretty freaking awesome rainbow and a pretty dang epic sunset. But it was time for another Mayan ruin adventure. This time, Ek Balam. Our adventure started early. Ek Balam is in the northern Mayan lowlands, which is about 35 miles from Chichen Itza. It's closer to Cancun. So we started very early, and there was a little bit of weather on our way out there. Hurricane Milton was moving in, but it made for a beautiful drive. And by the time we got there, the clouds were gone, the sun was out, we were happy. We were ready to explore Ek Balam, which also means black jaguar. Now, at its height, there were 20,000 inhabitants in the main nucleus here. And Ek Balam, amazingly enough, this place that we're looking at right now, it was operational for over 1,000 years. And this is one of the gates, this is the main gate where the road to the city entered. So with nooks and crannies everywhere, I explored what I could. It's the oval palace in the background. And another beautiful thing about Ek Balam, you're able to climb these structures. You're able to see the view that they had thousands of years ago. So again, this dates from the middle pre-classic 700 to 300 BC all the way to the terminal classic 900 to 1100 AD. And this is a good look here kind of at the courtyard. Those two things right there are called the twins. This is one of the main areas, but I believe there's over 45 or 40 structures here, and it's laid out in a north-south axis, kind of forming two different plazas, the North Plaza and the South Plaza. But this is the masterpiece. This is the Acropolis. It's at the north end of the North Plaza. It is 480 feet long, 200 feet wide, and over 90 feet tall. This is the Acropolis. Now those are some steep stairs. If that doesn't figure it out for you, the width is also super narrow. So not only does it feel like you're going straight up, you can't actually fit your foot front to back, and you see that here. Here's a good look at the steepness of the stairs. We're at level 1 right now. First little landing, and we're already pretty much at tree level. Time to keep going up. Because there is no stopping me. If I can climb it, I'm gonna climb it. And that's exactly what I did. Me and this vulture We are the only thing up here at the top of the Acropolis. And as you can see, you can look out, you see for miles, nothing but dense jungle. Now imagine how many more of these buildings are out there underneath all this vegetation. As far as the eye can see, I was up in the clouds. Those down there, those are the structures that I was just climbing on a moment ago. You can see how they would blend in and hide under that canopy. But as I was saying, since I was the only person at the top of this wonderful and beautiful structure, there to capture the sun rays and the energy and the light and the guidance and the wisdom, I went full hippie and I took a little bit of time just to meditate and contemplate and enjoy my surroundings.
All right, y'all, we gotta go back down this now. Whoosh, sheesh.
Underneath those protective thatch roofs are artwork unparalleled in the Mayan world, work stucco facades that are nearly perfectly preserved. The Maya buried the Acropolis at Ek Balam, which preserved the stucco sculptures and many of the painted hieroglyph inscriptions. Ek Balam Ruins provide an authentic illustration. That open fang mouth is of an earth deity. You see molded masks, geometric motifs, and winged statues termed angels. All elaborate, and there I am hanging out with them. But the adventure continues, and as we got to the bottom of the Acropolis, I noticed that there was a trail leading around the back of the great Acropolis. So I wanted to find out what was back there. And as I was walking, I started picturing what the civilization would have looked like at its height. What were the cities? What were the roads? How did it look? And as it faded away, as the people left, what did it look as the jungle took back these structures? And on the backside, I got a good glimpse of that. You would see piles of rocks here and there, but look at this. This is trees, this is vegetation. Yeah, there may be a little bit more rocks here, but you wouldn't necessarily guess that's a pyramid. There was the occasional wall that stood out because rocks don't stack like that. But you can see here from the top of the Acropolis, the right side is the cleared side, the left side is the back side. Now, you may understand why I said, when you fall down a hole and you discover a hidden room with treasures and tunnels, that's every boy's dream. But that didn't happen. And we made it around the loop and we found this building, which is actually the backside of the ball court. This is the east side. And of course I went up there to check everything out. There's actually a few rooms in the lower section, which you can't see because they're blocked by these walls. But I definitely went in there. I checked those out. I caught the vibe. As with most of this place, you're really able to be hands-on. And we walked back towards the entrance through the nooks and crannies of the city. It was 93 degrees with a real feel of 102. We were bushed. We were about ready to go when this dog found us as we were exiting. And he walked us right over to these stairs. This is a monument. This is number 10, which we hadn't actually run into or seen yet. So I'm glad our little dog was a tour guide and told us to come up and check out this last plateau before we left Ek Balam. And as a trusty guide dog, led us up there, waited for us to catch up, said, all right, carry on. Let's go and check this building out. It was pretty cool. I don't really know the significance of this building. I'm sure I could look it up, but the dog was our guide and we followed. So we thought it would make a cool picture. We gave our camera to the dog and the dog snapped us a nice pic. And that is our story of the visit to Ek Balam. Now, no trip is complete without a trip to the cenotes. Cenotes are natural water that is collected in caves encrusted by the lime-coated walls, and this happened to be a pretty large one.
Yes, there are fish in here. We are going to swim with the fish.
Our visit to the cenotes was great, but we weren't done swimming for the day. We got home, there was people to the right, there were people to the left. It was the weekend, so by God, we're getting back in the water too. And this is actually where we spent a lot of time on our vacation, just enjoying with the pool noodles out in the water. But we did also leave. We also went to Merida, which was a great place to visit. It's where the airport is. It is the safest town in the Yucatan, but it's also home to one of our favorite things to do every Sunday, and that is to go to the fancy hotel called Roses and Chocolat and enjoy what is known as jazz breakfast. And if you're curious what that is, enjoy the next minute. Here it is. But there was still one more adventure to go in our Mayan ruins trips, and this time, Uxmal. 40 miles south of Merida in the southwestern part of the Yucatan. The central ruins cover about 150 acres. This place is huge. The majority of the structures that we see, they're from the late Classic period, which is 600 to 900 AD. Uxmal means thrice built in Mayan, which refers to the Pyramid of the Magician, which we see here. It was built on top of existing pyramids. The legend tells of a magician dwarf who built the Pyramid of the Magician, also known as the Pyramid of the Dwarf, overnight. At its base, it measures about 227 by 162 feet and rises 90 feet above the ground. Now you can see the cool masks here on the side of the buildings. Those are the head of Chak, the rain god. And some of the finest architectural sculpture found in the ancient Mayan world, particularly sculpture made from cut stone, is going to be found here at Uxmal. Really represents the pinnacle of late Maya art and architecture with the ornate carvings, the friezes, and sculptures embedded into the architecture. I mean, just take a look around. It's pretty great, don't you think? I loved seeing these masks up close, just the size, the scale, how old these things were, how long they've actually been there. Just, it's amazing. And I'm standing right now in the nunnery quadrangle. It's 4 rectangular buildings with 74 individual rooms. And unlike most other ruins, Uxmal is not laid out geometrically. It's actually, its space is organized in relation to astronomical phenomena, such as the rising and setting of Venus. Now, one thing that you do find at a lot of these ruins, again, are the iguanas. This little patch here, which is apparently the VIP section because it's roped off, there's 13 of them there. And if you've never seen an iguana run across the grass, it's pretty funny. And there you go. As we exited the nunnery, we looked down on the ball court, and it was cool to turn around and see back into the nunnery. Here's a little bit of a better look at the hoop in the ball court, which teams tried to get the small rubber ball through. Time to keep on moving though. There was plenty to see in this 150-acre site. So we went off to the right and we walked into an area known as the House of the Doves. And of course, because you could climb it, I definitely climbed it. And those stairs are steep, guys. Again, everything is like Dutch steps over here. If you're Dutch, you know what I mean. But the entrance to the House of the Doves was in front of me, so once again, I wanted to go and explore it for myself. I can imagine birds sitting in those little holes. Maybe that's why it got the name House of Doves, but it was a cool spot just to kind of look around and take in the size of it, the scale of it, the decay of it. All of this really hit home. And as I walked through the front entrance here, Well, I was greeted with a fence. Just like at Ek Balam, nature had claimed a lot of this again. You can see here, oh cool, vegetation and hillside. Nope, actually, there's a monument there. That is the Great Pyramid. Again, you can see to the left it's taken over. But this is the Great Pyramid from a distance. They've cleared off the front. We kept on climbing to the upper level, which is where a few more buildings were located, but this really overlooked a lot of the facilities that have been cleared. You've got the ball court down there, you see the nunnery off in the distance, and you also have the Pyramid of the Magician. But this upper tier starts with the House of Turtles. This cool platform with the two-headed jaguar sits in front of the House of the Governor, which is completely symmetrical. 328 feet long, 40 feet wide, 50 feet above the ground, decorated with depictions of astronomical symbols, as well as the rain god chalk. Very impressive. That's where the elite lived and stayed and hung out. As you can see, the view was freaking great. Don't blame them. But as we walked back down, couldn't help but think the eye of the tree was watching us. And watching us it was as we made our way back towards the Pyramid of the Magician to conclude our trip to Uxmal. Well worth it. Definitely check it out, guys. What an experience. So thank you for hanging out and listening to the story about our trip and visit to the Mayan ruins of Xcambo, Ek Balam, and Uxmal. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for watching. And if anybody can tell me the significance and the TV show that made me excited about seeing this in the airport, let me know in the comments. Much love.
Fuck you, Westport!